My question is, in dealing with others, whether it's family or friends, relatives, well, on a personal standpoint, how do you deal with people who are going to pass over soon, or who are coming to you with illnesses, or maybe don't have much time left on Earth? How do you approach that?
Well, that's a complex question, because if it's not your business, you can't do much except show appreciation and gratitude for them, and be grateful to them for being related to you in a certain way. Now, always wish them the best. Be compassionate to the people, but no one's saying you got to make them your business, which is very important. Okay, but in the spiritual circles, they say, you can make everybody your business, but you may pay a price for it, because you're going there to consume their energy or take it on, and then you bring it to your people. So the issue of what you expose yourself to is very important. That's why it's good that specialists handle certain things, and not everybody who's attached take on everybody's stuff, particularly. So you have to be careful. There has to be an understanding that their karma is their karma, your karma is your karma, and what it is that you can do for them to help them. You can encourage some people to practice, and so whatever that means is described to them and made clear to them, so they can maybe confront their suffering and their pain. See? Because to maintain the fear of death is bad news. Okay? It's not something to be afraid of. It's something to understand and work with it. Say, no, I'm going to die now. Finally, finally, I'm going to get a chance to leave this place. Or there are those who just can't think about it. They dread the idea of leaving this place because it's all they know. But you have to encourage them from this situation or teaching that there's much more. This is another beginning. So if people can do yoga to eliminate their fear a little bit and their pain, fine. If they need to hear music, we got the right music, man. It's right, the out-of-body music. If you can handle it. But people say, Tisziji music? No. Never. It could be useful to some who are getting ready to go, because it's out-of-body music, in a sense. It's leaving this world. It leaves the mind. So it could be, maybe not all of what we have, but some things could be helpful to give a better sense of reality. That we're in the body, but we are not the body. But we have to use it till the bitter end, I guess you could say that. That's when you're ready to go, you can't take it with you. So it's not really yours if you can't take it with you. It's borrowed. Everybody's body is borrowed. In good faith, that you're going to be able to accomplish what you're here to do. And you do it, and then, with all due respect, you give it back to the earth. Well, you don't even give it back to the earth. You may as well just let it go. It's taken from you. You're taken out of the body, because it's not yours. And so for some people, just hearing that truth is comforting to them. So, makes it easy. I got to go anyway. And maybe I'm going to go to a better place. All right? I'll mention an interesting story. My mother passed somewhere around 2006, let's say. And she was suffering for a long time. Cancer. Right. She was in a lot of pain. It got dark all of a sudden. Yeah. Well, it's true. So I didn't hear from her for a while. And then one morning I had what could be called a lucid dream, like as if I'm awake, and it's very vivid, lucid, clear, vibrant, like spooky, like what's going on, like you're in a real place. And the vibrations I got clearly was that I was entering, I had been brought to, or I awakened to a level of heaven, of intense beauty and peace, intense. And I'm saying, okay, this is good. I'm familiar with this is good, all right? And then I hear her voice, slow. And she says, it took a while, but it's very good. It's very good. This is very good. I'm here. And like, I'm here. Like finally here. Now, I mention this because it took 6 years, 6 Earth years, for a spirit, like instant, to get there. So she had things to do, and that's exactly what her tone told me when I heard it. And it was like, tell the others, because they don't have a clue. They won't know until they go. So that was a very useful dream from my family, to share with other people. So when you die, you're going to a place that prepares you for who knows where you deserve to go, which is maybe religious dogma by some people's standards, but for the spiritualists that I come from, no, this is what the journey is about. You leave the body, and you begin. When you leave the body, you begin a journey. Assuming when you leave the body, it's an honorable, let's say, healthy departure from the body. We call it natural, or whatever it is, where you have to go. But not because your ego can't tolerate your life, because then that's holding yourself back. You're here to embrace this whole thing, take it on and move beyond it. Not fear it and then go into a cocoon. Right? And then you hold everything up because you're so contracted, so afraid, so fearful, so possessed of fear, you can't experience what it is that you've created for yourself. You signed on the line. Hey, it's all part of this contract. Right? You're here, you're going to die at this time, this way, under these circumstances. You say, yeah, I'll take it. Sounds like a good journey. But you don't remember it. But we have to assume something. It's like an axiom. Everything is part of the impeccability of the law of karma. So I'll say no more on that.
Do you believe that certain spirits will stay kind of close to the
Wander, yes.
Right.
There will be those that wander.
Another...
Many of them stick around if they can.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my friends passed, and it wasn't that we were close. As a period of time, I'd say, like, we knew each other, like we had encounters, maybe a few encounters, not many. All right, so I wouldn't expect that they would come to see me in their ghost body. When my grandson Dharma Justice passed, he came to see me the night he passed, in the ghost body, in his light body. And it was a beautiful thing. Coincidentally, my daughter, his mother, had the same experience around the same time, because we talked later. She said, oh, Papu, that's interesting, because he was just here too. So that's a mystery. And so it does work that way. Well, then you move on to another theater, and some people don't go that easily. They may have a horrific death, but they may not leave. And by that I mean, departure from the body may be more difficult than in other cases. Who knows? See? Really depends. That's why it's important to take on some kind of spiritual practice where you're paying attention to these things while you're alive and thinking about some of it, so you have a better sense of what it is. I don't say you have to, but it can help. Because we can say from a certain viewpoint, well, it's all up to spirit, it's up to God, but it's really up to your karma and what your deal is with your body-mind. You're creating that every time you're awake. You're creating it as you think, as you feel. You're creating it. So multiplying and accumulating is what can happen to you or not. See? And so, with regard to practice is not like taking on more stuff. It's really the opposite. What you're willing to let loose of, in terms of gravity lines, so that you can rise more readily and more easily and more swiftly. See? So unburden yourself, degravitate yourself, dematerialize yourself as much as possible. See? And that's what a lot of meditators are doing, even though people who look at the meditators say, what are they, just sitting around and doing nothing? Useless. No, they may be dematerializing, and they may have a better passing than you can ever imagine, because they respect the process of living to die, right, or dying to live. See?